And you are back on the Tortoise and Hare experience.
And now you're deaf.
You say something there? Turtle?
Yeah.
Yertle the turtle.
Good times happening today.
Every day.
Every day. I've been a bit sick lately. Max has been sick too.
Every day is sunshine.
I think I don't know if I caught what Max caught or whatever, but I like.
Well, I don't think so. We're not like making out in the turtle shell.
Yeah, no, that would never happen. I don't think.
Yeah, and I don't have catchy stuff. So.
Yeah, but man, I've been feeling like really just sick, and it just happened. I hate when that happens when
you got like up here or right here.
It's right here. It's right there. I'm saying it's a cold.
Okay.
I always confuse the cold and the flu. Always.
My son just got over a ear infection, which showed up like a cold.
Oh.
You know, poor guy. Anyway, I'm sorry that you're not feeling well.
It's all right.
You're such a warrior trooper for being here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks to Max for providing the drinks.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're having tea today.
Thank you very much.
Because we're
Tea.
teetotalers. Teetotalers.
Yeah.
Cuppa.
Feels good.
Lovely.
Well, with us today is Stevie D. We are very delighted to showcase his new project. I think that's really good. We just played Rain, by the way, which I felt very cool about because, I mean, we just got over like this huge rain season. And what's funny here in LA is that...
Rainy season.
Yeah.
It was
3 hours last week.
That's rainy season in LA.
No, it was actually, 2 days of rain?
Yeah.
Light rains?
Yeah.
Which was really, I think, really lucky because we just had those huge fires.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when, historically, after fires like that kind of burn the foliage and the roots and all that, mudslides happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And because we're up on the hill, that's an ugly thing. Because
Yeah.
I don't like mud in my backyard.
No. I mean, I'm looking at your backyard now, and it just goes straight up.
Yeah.
And there's this, 5-foot concrete wall and this 20-foot hill.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And there's boobs. I'm looking at boobs right
No.
Boobs.
And they're not mine, for once.
Boob?
You want to see them? They're right there.
Yeah, the mannequin. Very nice.
It's art.
What, boobs? Where? Show me.
It's art. It's art, I'm telling you.
Yeah, so welcome to the Tortoise and Hare experience. Now,
Thank you. It's good to be here.
In the show, we always started off with an experience.
Yeah.
And who's going to go first? It's usually me, Max, and then, then you can go. Yeah.
Okay. Go.
Yeah. Well, Turtle, you started off because you take forever.
I do.
Always.
I do. Yeah. I've become quite the storyteller.
Well, that's
indeed.
probably not true, but we just
art.
play along. We
It's the
play
art of
along.
the story.
Go ahead.
So I've had. Okay, so November we were not here. We weren't able to do a show partly because I had to move my dad out of our family house. We sold our family house, and that was a very interesting experience because a lot of people were asking, "Man, aren't you sad?" That was a house that you grew up in, and I was like, you know what? I was a little sad, but now it's time to fill up that house with, a new family and bring more joy into that because towards the very end, my parents separated and are in the process of getting a divorce. So for the last couple of years, that house has been really empty. With us showing up, you know what I mean, and trying to fill it with love and joy, but after a while, it's time to start new things, and new courses in your life. So, and it's funny because we don't think about it, but there's so much stuff that happens when you move your house. Like my dad really didn't understand, we still had to turn off the water, change the electricity bills, change the mail.
Life things.
Yeah, and dude, I'm like, my dad's like, aren't you gonna let them know, that to stop your mail? And I'm like, no. I'm like, all the mail that I ever got was just like ads and stuff. I'm like, for all I care, I hope they never find me. I was like, I don't need that stuff. But there was so much that people accrue, in their lives, and that got me looking at, my place, and I'm like, dude, what don't I need? Because if I ever move again, which I plan to, I can't have all this excess stuff. We always buy a bunch of stuff and we never get rid of stuff.
Are you sentimental like that?
What's that?
Are you sentimental like that?
I am very sentimental. I'm so sentimental that a few years ago, I did this challenge.
Oh, with your sister?
No. It was myself. It was like the 40-day. You had to give up something every day. And you started off small, and then by the end, you're feeling super liberated that you're giving up big stuff. So like something small that I give up, and part of it too, I did like emotional. Like you're supposed to give away physical things, but some of the stuff that I did was emotional. I was like, man, like today I feel like getting this off me, and
this resentment.
Yeah.
I've hated you for so long, and I'll stop now. Yeah,
it's over. I had to get rid of that. Right. And that helped me out, but when I was done with that, not that I thought that I was fine. I mean, I still feel like.
How long have you been in your current house?
I'm about to do 5 years.
Okay. How long were your parents in this house?
Oh man, since like 1989.
And they're just getting divorced now?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, like 2 years ago. It just started 2 years ago.
If you don't mind me asking, why did that happen now?
Why? Okay.
Why don't they just spend the rest of their lives miserable together?
Like the rest of us.
Like real Mexicans. Well, a lot of it had to do with, like I was one of the last people to leave the house. So, when I was there, everything was just focused on kind of me.
Right.
And then when
stay together for the kids.
Yeah.
The kid.
The 30-year-old kid.
Right.
And then I finally left and got myself a place. Mm-hmm. And then they just had to just focus on themselves, They always had me or somebody as a distraction. So
now they're going to live. How old are they? If you don't mind.
Oh, man, I don't know. They're old.
It must be 60s, 70s, right?
Probably.
Okay. So they're now going to live alone.
They already are living
and
they're already separated.
Wow. And how's that working out for them?
Great for my mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my mom. She's kind of like me, or I'm kind of like her. She's a party animal and stuff like that. Oh. She loves karaoke. So she started.
All right.
Yeah. So she started like a karaoke business.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Yeah, and she just likes being out and about. My dad is a hermit.
Yeah.
And the weird part was my mom had already moved out.
Are they both retired?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom had already moved out like 2 years ago. And so it was just them going through everything and then finally settling on the house and what to do with it. And that finally came up and they finally sold it. And so my dad, I was telling him, we set everything up. He was going to go live with my brother, and because for a while they were trying to convince me to go back home and live with my dad, and I'm like, dude, I can't do that anymore. Like once I'm out of Shawshank, like like I ain't coming back. Like I finally tasted true freedom. Right. And my hours were always like really weird and stuff like that. So I'm used to like living alone and like not having anybody anymore. It was like the first time that I've always had like people around me and stuff, but this was like the first time.
There's family,
Yeah.
There's other people.
Yeah. So
they're not like real people.
Yeah. I mean, but for me, I would, if family if I needed to be there, I'd be there.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
Yeah, you make me feel
but you are an awful son. No, I'm kidding.
Terrible.
I'm kidding.
You caused all of this.
God, selfish. No. Anyway, I gotta go. No, I'm kidding.
I can't do this interview anymore.
End of interview. Okay, so carry on. I'm sorry.
So I'm telling my dad, like, look, dude, like, okay, like we got you set up. You're gonna live with my brother. It's going to be super cool. We're going to get you a house right by him. Because, that's where like a lot of things happen, like with my family at my brother's house, you know. And I'm like, you're gonna be right by the kids, you know, so you could go see them and you know do this and that. So date comes, we load up his truck, you know, with all of his like possessions, and my dad everything that was in there was like all my mom's. So my dad only had like enough stuff for his truck, you know, like a true man, you know what I mean? He's like, I only have a little bit of stuff. And then I'm like, all right. I'm like, am I going to follow you, or are you going to follow me to Milo's house, or what's going to happen? And he's like, I'm not living there. I'm like, what do you mean? We set up all the mail that's going there, everything. He's like, no, I found a place. Like,
I found a place.
Yeah.
That's how your dad talks? That's
no,
how
no.
you like it? Wow, really?
Orderly, I found a place.
No, my dad's like, no, I found a place. And I'm like, all right, well, where is it? Let me go help you move in. No, it's cool. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, who's going to help you? He's like, I have people. I'm like, what do you mean you have people?
You don't have people?
Yeah, I'm like,
so who were they?
I'm like, I'm the only one you know. You know, like,
As far as you know, who helped him?
He's like, I'm gonna have your cousins are gonna move me in. I'm like, okay, well, let me drive to the place and check it out. And so
maybe he didn't want you to know.
He didn't. He doesn't. Like,
Yeah.
like
Maybe he's very
He's
proud,
trying to get
and
rid
maybe
of
he
you.
didn't, doesn't want the help. You know?
He is happy to get rid of you. And he never wants to see
Yeah,
you
he didn't want
again.
you to live with him either.
Yeah.
You know?
He won't even tell you where he lives. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm still trying to find, and it's like 3
Trying to
weeks
find
now.
my dad.
I'm still trying to figure out where he lives or what's going on. I think he has a girlfriend, but I'm not sure. Like,
Oh,
Wow.
that's
it's really
amazing.
sketch, you know. And he's like, "Well, I live in LA now," and I'm like, "You live in LA?"
Where did you live?
We live in this little area in the San Gabriel Valley, like right by West Covina. It's called Bassett.
Okay.
So it's right by like La Puente and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So for him to like leave a small little kind of town and then move to LA, I'm just like,
And not tell you where he
yeah,
lives.
and not town. I'm just like, man, this
That's
is fucking
awesome.
weird. This is super weird. He's still like, he'll like come like where I live and be like, okay, let's meet, you know. But we meet somewhere like neutral. And I'm just like, dude, I just want to, I'm like, I just want to scope out your place, make sure it's cool, and make sure that like they're not like taking advantage of you, you know. Like I want to know how much you're paying, you know, and just,
You're not his dad.
well, I know, but like,
I mean, I get that. Yeah, and he won't tell you where he lives?
not yet. It's been really weird. It's been
I would sit him down, that wouldn't fly with me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You're my dad. You tell me where you live. You know what I mean?
Or
Yeah,
are
so I
you
can
my
go
dad?
visit you.
Yeah.
So I can go visit you, you know, when I have time or whatever. So so that's been a interesting experience that I've been going through all through like November and stuff like that.
Wow.
Wow.
That's my experience.
That's
Wow.
heavy stuff.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's why we have to take the month off too. That's
Yeah.
why. That's
I know
why,
you kept canceling, and it's usually me that
Yeah.
cancels because I'm
yeah,
doing something important.
I know. So that's why
I never do anything important. It's a total lie.
So that's why, and that was another reason why last month we just couldn't do a show or anything. It was just a lot of just family stuff, and it's always like during this time of year too. You know, like the holidays and stuff like
the
that.
holidays, yeah.
Yeah, that's
There's
right.
always...
I don't get it. Like, shouldn't holidays not be that? Shouldn't we put a moratorium on holidays and say, look,
know.
no moving, no family
nothing.
tragedies, nothing can happen during these couple months.
This is a weird time right now too, because we're in this really heavy retrograde, and people are nuts. They're really overreacting to everything, every little thing, and taking things way too seriously right now. People need to lighten up through this.
Yeah.
It's the holidays. It's supposed to be like.
I don't know much about retrograde, so... But
It's an interesting thing.
I don't know. I don't know if I've noticed people taking things too seriously, but I'll think about that. Are you taking things too seriously?
No. I've been just. It's weird the way my brain works. I don't know if your brain works like this too, but I always try to find the hilarity in it, and sometimes some people just cannot take that about me. They're like, dude, I'm like, this is serious. Why are you cracking a joke? Or like, why are you doing this? And I'm just like, dude, I'm just trying to lighten the mood. This is how I deal with serious stuff, you know? We gotta laugh.
Ha
I don't laugh like that. I laugh like this, and I don't know.
Yeah, I like my laugh better.
Yeah.
I had a cool thing happen. I used to sing with this guy named Alice Cooper back in the day. This little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Little,
might have heard of him.
Little musician.
Yeah.
And part of the band is now in Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And I guess,
really?
Yeah.
Did that just happen, or because
No,
I know
no,
Trans-Siberian Orchestra's been around
he's-
for a long time.
Yeah, Al Petrelli's been in. He started it with this guy named Paul O'Neill, I believe is his last name, who just recently passed away. And so now it's just Al. They have two versions. They have a West Coast and an East Coast
No
version.
way.
It's that big.
Yeah.
They play for 3 months out of the year, 2 shows a day, all up and down the coast and across America, and sold out in every single show. And it's the most explosive show I've ever seen in my life. It was crazy good.
It's funny because like I've seen them before, and there's signs all over the place that say like, look, this is a major light show. If you have what was it called?
Epilepsy.
Right.
They're like, don't come in.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have seizures, so that was like a thing, and I took my buddy Zombie Dave, and Dave, every time the lights went on, he would like cover my eyes, like, don't look at the lights. But so I get this message from Jeff Scott Soto, who's one of the singers, and he says, we're trying to get a hold of you. We're going to be in town. Want you to come out for the show. And I was like, well, I've never seen the show. So I'm talking to Petrelli and Al Petrelli, and he's, we're just talking about old times and life and, catching up. And we were talking about snow. And I said, I've never seen snow fall from the sky ever in my whole life. I've been around the world, and I've seen snow on the ground, but I've never seen it fall because I'm a Southern girl, East Coast,
right.
Florida, so we didn't have
There's no
snow
in Florida?
There's no snow in Florida. There's none of that. I think it snowed one afternoon, but my parents wouldn't let me go towards the door because I had, a performance that night or something ridiculous, some ballet thing that I had to do. So, there's no snow for me. So I've never seen it fall. So he said, I'm going to make it snow for you. And when I walked into the arena, it was snowing. And
wow.
I kind of lost my mind. It was, of course, not real snow,
right.
but it was so beautiful with the lights going and this, choir of angels. Because seriously, their singers are beyond. They really are. I was a little upset that he hasn't hired me yet for this tour, but, I'm just saying that he's made some very good choices, and everybody is amazing. They're all, top-notch players. Some old friends of mine, Blas Elias, who's playing drums for him, and, and Jeff, and just James playing keyboards, and awesome people.
I saw it because I saw you video face social book something and Instagram. Yes, that was that. That's exactly what that was. Yeah. And you were right up below them, but the this year they were on platforms flying through the arena.
Crazy. They were like monkey arms that from the back of the arena and the front, and they kind of met in the middle, and they were above my head right here.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was super cool too.
It was very nuts.
I was like, man, it must be so much fun being a musician and being able to do kind of a crazy stage like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever done a crazy stage like that, or?
No. not like Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Those guys, they're next level. I mean, they're probably the biggest act in the world, international. Mm-hmm. I don't know, as far as I know, we've opened for groups that have big shows, but Trans-Siberian really goes to the next level with theirs, with risers and lights and lasers and all that. I saw some video. You showed me some video, and it was really beyond, like most rock bands ever do. You know what I mean?
Just the amount of people it takes to put on a show like that. There were 120 crew members, 19 semis, 9 buses to carry these people every single day, 2 shows a day. And they just don't stop. They don't sleep.
I mean, that's like the production of like a pop band.
Yeah. Like
Britney or Madonna back in the day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But for rock, that's huge. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, maybe Metallica travels that heavy.
Yeah.
When I was with Alice, we had a pretty elaborate,
Well,
thing.
well, he's a theater guy, man.
Yeah,
like his
yeah.
show is all production. It's all, for the eyes.
Tortuga.
Simon Limon.
Simon Limon. Entiendes, Mendes.
So we shared our experiences. Granted, mine was again long,
Very.
but I mean,
Mine's short and sweet,
I know.
to the point.
mine's deserved long.
No, they,
Now, this is November? Or just...
we're in December.
We're in
now.
December.
I mean, but like this experience that we speak of.
yes, yes.
Okay.
It can be anything. It can be
Okay.
something
Yeah.
that you experienced this morning.
This morning. Anything of note this morning? No.
No.
Work. The month of November, we spent, I'm going to tie it into promotion here.
That's beautiful.
We spent recording our 8th album or 9th. I don't know. It's one of those. But we got off an 11-week tour and then did an event for Halloween, and then it was right into recording. Actually, it was October, November. Anyway, we're recording our new album, Warpaint, so that was all-consuming. It was my role in the band has changed, so from the beginning, we started writing about 2 years ago and took it all the way with pre-production until, let's say, September, and then just started hammering out with Mike Plotnikoff, who did our most successful album, 15, so for Buck Cherry. Anyway, so we wrapped that up. It was amazingly smooth, you know what I mean, and amazingly fun because the process, I don't know, maybe hasn't been that way in a long time, for me anyway. And
What changed that?
I'm not sure. I think it was just more. I think because of the last couple records I had done were with Josh Todd and the Conflict, and then we did a little side thing with for his skate website, skate company called Spray Gun War. So I just felt like it was a little bit more challenging at the time. Maybe because Mike had a team of people that just do this day in, day out for years and years and years, and they're really successful at it. They've really created the landscape of a lot of the rock you're hearing on the radio right now. So all the guesswork was taken out of it, and I wasn't in charge. I wasn't producing. I was producing the other two. So this one, I just pretty much kind of like an overseer, but just a guitar player songwriter. And
So you just sat back
and
like a king.
let them create the magic. So
Was that difficult for you, letting go of that control?
I mean, there were little things in the back of my head that I made notes of, like, I want to hear this more, or I'd like this to go a certain way. But I think at some point, for most songwriters, you have to do your best, and then at some point it's not in your control anymore. You know, when a producer gets his hands on it, I mean, you have a say, but I think you have to kind of trust that the universe knows what you want, and it's gonna bend that way. You know what I mean? So I think, it's not. It is difficult, but then again, it's getting easier. You know, as I get older. Now that I'm an old man of 300.
322.
Yeah. So.
No.
But yeah, November was all about recording for me. I guess, you know what, the last few years have been all about recording for me, writing and recording.
Now, earlier we played 2 songs from JT and the Conflict.
Yeah.
And we really didn't get to dive into that, but what made you want to do that project?
Simple. Buck Cherry had over-toured, and we had beaten up A markets, B markets, and C market, like all the markets. We were going there way too much. And what happens when you do that, we built a great touring business, but what happens when you do that is you end up with diminishing returns. So 10 years later, 12 years later, it suffers. Your audience suffers. So what Josh and I did was we started writing songs for his skate company. And then the Buck Cherry started to splinter a little bit. So we said, okay, we're going to take a break, and it's going to be X amount of months. But we need to keep working, because that's, you know, we don't do anything else.
That's what you do.
You know? So we all have kids, and what Josh and I decided to do was create another band, and that was Josh Todd and the Conflict. So, yeah.
So you're the conflict.
I'm conflicted. Yeah. Me and Greg Cash and Sean Winchester.
And what made you pick those guys, or how did those other guys come about?
My friend over at the management company, a very creative name for a management company. The management company, JJ Garcia, he suggested Sean as a drummer, and I don't know, I can't remember how we got turned on to Greg, but Greg, I think it was Kevin Rankin, who's actually playing in Buck Cherry now.
Wow.
Said, I know this guy, he's a superstar, and you're going to love him. And turns out he was all that and more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love him. He's actually playing with Jared James Nichols now.
Okay.
So, amazing bass player. Check him out. Greg Cash. Holler at your boy. I hope you're listening to this.
It still has that Buck Cherry feel, though, this band, you know?
Well, it's gonna, you know what I mean? It's me and Josh in there. Yeah. And I think that anything that Josh sings on is going to have that effect of, you know, the listener will go, you know, it sounds a little like Buck Cherry. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, it's our heavier selves, you know, that band. We kind of went back into Josh's, youth. He grew up skater punk in Orange County. Mm-hmm. And that's what we tapped into. All the kind of music that he grew up listening to. So that's what you're getting with You're the Tiger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was the only guitar player, so he asked me to stretch out a little bit. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of ground to cover when you're the only guitar player. You know what I mean? Not just solo-wise, but rhythm-wise and singing-wise and all that. So my job as a bandmate increased tenfold. So I was writing.
Your salary did too.
I know, it actually did.
You just heard the song "Gluttony" by Buck Cherry.
Yeah,
very cool.
From the Confessions LP.
What did you guys confess?
7 deadly sins, something that we all suffer from.
You know what's funny is I did a movie recently where they did all of the Chinese characters on my skin of the 7 deadly skin.
7 deadly skins. Wow.
Sins. See, I can't even say the word sin.
Gluttony,
I'm
sloth.
such a good girl.
Yeah.
I know. But that was,
What movie
it was
was that?
weird. It was called The Witch Chronicles, Spirit of Ayahuasca.
Wow. Not to be confused with ayahuasca,
I thought.
How?
which is
That
the
was a
evil
different
juice.
God
Bless.
bless you.
Right.
Oh, man.
Real things happen.
Just stay away from me.
Yeah.
That's, for all of our viewers, Turtle and I usually sit next to each other, but I refuse to be anywhere near him.
And I refuse to be next to you because I'm sick. And as soon as I walked in, I'm like, Max, I'm sick. And I know she was a little sick in November. So I was like,
yeah.
And she's like, gotta stay away from me. But now I just sneeze all over everything. So
I have that compromise.
I hope you sneezed all over the food. wherever
Yeah.
it is.
No, it's still covered up, thank goodness.
as I'm going through it, man. Now, I was reading that there's a new series of guitars out, and you got one of them, right? It was I wrote it down.
There's a company called Sully Guitars.
Yes, Sully Guitars. Yeah,
yeah. Sully is a guitar builder in Texas, and I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, Nikki. Who plays with Motley Crue? You may have
Mr. Six.
yeah. So
Little band.
yeah, little huge band. And anyway, so we were in his backyard, or he's got a little deck out back, and he had just gotten this Firebird. Well, it was called the Raven, and this thing was screaming. And I couldn't believe it. And he said, I have another one that he sent me for you to play. I'm like, me? Like, no. Let me see it. So I played it. I fell in love with it. And it was the Sully 71 Trella. And it's kind of inspired by, in my opinion, it looks like, in my opinion, an Iceman, without the horn, kind of Les Paul-esque, but a longer scale. So the only thing I needed to get used to was the scale, because I do the short scale, more like a Les Paul SG kind of thing. So I did that, and then what he did months later, I took that around with me everywhere, and what he did was he did a signature model. It's a Stevie D model. And it's the same guitar, but there's a few tweaks on it, but it's essentially, so that's in the Head Like a Hole video. So,
yeah. And speaking of which, you guys covered on this album that's coming up, Warpaint, 9 Inch Nails, Head Like a Hole. Mm-hmm. How does that come about? I heard it.
Well,
very cool.
we're in the studio, and they're messing around. We're thinking of songs that we could possibly do as a cover, and we're going through what had inspired us coming up. And 9 Inch was one of them. And Palatnikov hit record during one session, and then what we did was we liked it. We just added the bits and bobs, and that's what you're getting now. We decided to release that early. Instead of the album doesn't come out till next year.
Right.
The album doesn't come out till next year.
Max is way prettier.
Yeah. Yeah, she's way easier to look at, and she's not sick. The album doesn't come out till next year, right? So in order to just create some momentum, and the label had nothing to do with this, we just said, let's just release Head Like a Hole, as an internet track, And
little special treat.
Yeah, for the people that have been following us for a long time. We haven't released anything new in 3 years. So what we did is we released it, and the response is within a few days it got 200,000 views. Wow. So on YouTube or across all the platforms. So we decided to make a video for it, and we just released that last week. So there you go.
Have you heard from Trent Reznor's camp or anything like that?
He said he loves it. No, I have not.
I would believe you. Like, oh my God, that's cool.
No, I was just in Texas and saw his drummer Elon at Sound Ranch. He was recording for his band. I think it's called New Regime, but this crazy, awesome, amazing studio in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a walnut farm or something like that.
Nice.
But amazing. Anyway, no, I've not.
He's a nice guy. He's a very nice guy.
I've never met him.
I used to own a studio, full production studio called Late Night Studios. Mm-hmm. My lovely ex-husband and I say that with no loveliness about him.
Right. Right.
So it was a full production, and he was doing his video for that animal song.
Oh, okay.
And I just had a baby.
In your studio?
In my studio.
Oh, okay.
I just had a baby. I walk in, and
was it Danny or was it your son?
It was Danny, and I walk in, and there's this huge chair and this weird pole, and this guy on the chair, and a girl in front of him, and she is hammering nails into his penis. And I'm like,
for real?
For real.
Oh my goodness. I don't believe that.
Oh yeah.
For real.
For real. For real.
Why would...
yeah.
They say don't meet your heroes.
No, it wasn't him.
Oh.
It was in the video that they used like their image.
Okay, so were they literally... They weren't at your studio hammering nails?
They were S&M people. That was their thing.
Into Trent Reznor's?
No, not into Trent.
Oh, okay.
The husband and wife.
Oh, I see.
He was standing there.
My goodness.
Telling, what should happen in this
video. More nails in that penis.
Was he directing?
He was. He was like,
right.
This is what I want happening. Wow. And I was like, I'm horrified. I'm taking my baby out of here and crying in the corner. Yeah. I mean, I just had Patti LaBelle, and now this. This is like, wait a minute, what's happening in my world?
I mean, that kind of music goes hand in hand with that kind of lifestyle. I would imagine, I just...
No, it was part of the video.
Yeah.
So it was like, he was trying to do something shocking. I don't know if they used all that footage or not, but he left the chair for us, which was very cool.
Wow.
And my...
And
ex
the penis.
threw it away.
The penis and nails.
The penis and the nails was still in the chair. It was
Were they
gross.
9-inch nails?
Yeah. But that was fun.
Yeah.
But he was very lovely. He apologized profusely.
What, was it bloody?
No, it wasn't. I mean, they knew what they were doing. This was a thing that they did. They're circus performers.
Like Jim Rose Circus?
Yeah, you know how they hammer nails into your tongue or
right.
whatever. That was their thing, and whatever.
Wow.
It was gross.
Yeah, I don't know that. But yeah, I guess it takes all kinds.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've never actually seen the video, so
I'll have to Google that later.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't.
Yeah,
maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe nails through your junk doesn't really.
Yeah, it seemed painful.
What has to happen to someone growing up that they feel the need to do that as an adult? I don't know.
Some sort of sexual thing, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you know what? My guess is that he was already pierced, and they're just kind of going in the same place that was pierced, I would imagine. I don't know. I turned away so quickly.
Yeah.
I was horrified.
It's not my bag, man.
No.
I don't even know what popcorn so. What else do you guys do?
So, Trent.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
It's quite impressive, isn't it? I don't know.
But it wasn't him. It was just his video.
Right.
But good man, though. Very interesting. Lovely person.
No, I'm a big fan. Big fan. I've always been a big fan of Trent Reznor. Even like that soundtrack he did with Atticus. I just, he's just one of those geniuses like Bowie or, I don't know, or Prince, but not in the same. But, there's a lot of common thread. This is just my brain thinking, like when I listen to Prince, I hear similarities with 9 Inch too, also, you know what I mean? But I know they sound completely different, but that's just... That could be the tea talking. I don't know. But, yeah, no, I'm a big fan. So, anyway.
I always liked when the David Bowie and Trent Reznor, I'm Afraid of Americans, that was like the coolest song, coolest video that I had ever seen, where Trent's just stalking, David Bowie.
Yeah, I got to see that. It's been a long time.
Oh, it's brilliant. So that I don't know, I like videos like that are like that scary, but still the song resonates with it. It was just super cool.
That's when videos had massive budgets. Well, those guys have massive budgets anyway. You know what I mean? Quite large. Back in the day.
When videos meant something.
It took 2-3 days to shoot.
Yeah. I think videos... Not
anymore.
No?
Well, I mean, it depends on where you're at in life. But most of what you're seeing in rock anyway, you know what I mean, is not big budget. You know what I mean? But I think 10 years ago, you would see big budget videos. They're just more, I don't know, in my opinion, I think rock is suffering right now, but
I think music in general is suffering.
Well, I don't think. Wow, that is a really tight cough. Oh, is that a sneeze or a cough?
That was a sneeze.
Oh,
bless you.
Bless you. I think the hip hop guys are doing great. I think record companies are doing great and pop stars, but I don't think rock. I think a handful of rock bands are doing really well, but I think the genre as a whole isn't what it used to be.
You know what? The two genres of music that always hold true, their fans never waver, is gospel music and country music.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Christian crowd.
Sure.
Like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, it's all Christmas music. So those fans they're die hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounded funny. I almost did it with a strange accent.
You got Trans-Siberian for a second.
I transed right there.
You transcended.
Sidetracked.
I know.
No plans on going into country?
Us?
Yeah.
We have. We did a song with Gretchen Wilson.
No way.
Love her.
Why did I hear this?
It was but it was a single. We have another one coming up on this album called The Hunger that could cross over. I think it's a logical step for a lot of rock bands that are like rock and roll bands. In my opinion, a lot of the country out now sounds like rock from the 80s. You know what I mean? It sounds like that Mutt Lange, not Mutt Lange, is it Mutt Lange?
Yeah, Mutt Lange.
Yeah, Mutt Lange production. But I think guys like, there's a handful of true country artists out there and maybe alt country people that kind of stay more true to the genre, but generally speaking, like Tim McGraw, I don't even know who's current right now.
Right.
Brad Paisley. Well, Brad Paisley, he's amazing, but the other ones that are probably in the top 10 of country,
Keith Urban.
Keith Urban.
He's the king of country.
Yeah, I think they all, the productions, what they sing about, it's all that kind of, it's kind of cookie cutter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Okay, can I throw in the Toby Keith?
Toby Keith, yeah, America. You know? So, but yeah, I we just, and I'm not. I hope that doesn't sound mean or derogatory. We just did some shows with Big and Rich, mm-hmm. and it's funny enough, our audiences seem to overlap a lot. You know what I mean? Like, they played, and then we came out, and we played, and no one left from... Yeah. It was one of those festivals. Nice. Yeah, but no one left, and they're all beer-drinking, fun-loving people. And, you know, so... Yeah, would we ever cross over, or would we ever go country? I don't know that we would full on, but, you know, we'll write songs if it's got a twangy guitar. There's a couple twangy guitar songs on this new album, so
slowly.
Hey, you know, music's music. Good music is good music. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean? So.
There's a great country artist coming up, Michael Austin, who has awesome people around him playing. He's got the guys from INXS playing with them, and Mike Crumpus on guitar, and Billy Sheehan, and just like brilliant. And music is so good. I was really surprised that.
What's the name of the group?
It's just Michael Austin.
Oh, okay. Are those guys from INXS living here now?
I believe they have houses all over the place.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
There's this country artist that I don't know if he's country, but I mean, I know he's country, but I don't know if it's a comedy country or not. But his name is my friends introduced me, Wheeler Walker Jr. And he has this song. It's so fucking hilarious, and it's a typical country song, but it's called "Fuck You, Bitch." And he's like, "Fuck you, bitch. Fuck your dog. Fuck your house." You know,
that sounds like comedy to me. Yeah, I don't know,
but it's all country, and it's like, it's like that classic like country twang and everything like that.
I think they can get away with that kind of stuff in country. I mean, look, we got away with singing a song like "Crazy Bitch."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of country parody type songs out there.
Did you get a lot of flack for that when that came out?
Not really. I think it was more positive than negative. Back then, I really stayed away from... Social media wasn't as big as it is now. And that was a song that kind of coined the phrase viral. You know what I mean? There wasn't really viral before, like the songs and videos like Crazy Bitch helped that term kind of come to light. But I think it was more positive than negative. It went from... It was like literally by the tens of thousands in views going, once it was posted. And I don't remember, I guess I didn't really read the stuff, It's not a good idea to do that anyway, because unless like you're a glutton for punishment, because there's always these people, that want to say something about you.
Haters.
So, haters. We did, a few years later, get death threats, when we were playing. We were playing in Florida. And there was a death threat, like a bomb scare. The police were up and down the blocks, and it helped, it was a sold out show. And, but I think, the most negative thing was we got pigeonholed as that band, you know what I mean? But we didn't get a lot of flack for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah. if anything, that really opened up the world for us. You know what I mean? It started off as the most added song to. It became like the national anthem for strip clubs. Really, you know what I mean? So
It's like that song and "Pour Some Sugar on Me" were like the biggest strip.
yeah,
songs.
or girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was. I think it replaced that for a season. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's a lot of songs that kind of shake it up from this band.
Thank you to our guest, Stevie D, for being on. Of course, you can always catch up with him and his bands on the interweb. You can go to buckcherry.com, or you can always go to joshtodd.com or facebook.com/Josh Todd and the Conflict for more information on his bands. And, of course, we're going to have all those on the show notes, so make sure you go check them out. Thank you for letting us play your music. It's been very cool.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a lovely home you have here.
Thank you very much.
And the company is fantastic.
Of course.
Well,
Yeah.
He's talking about me, obviously.
no, he's not. He's never talking about you. Nobody ever talks about you, Turtle.
There's a delicious-looking chocolate pecan pie bar right there.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I don't venture into this area.
No?
God knows what's over there.
Wow.
It's frightening.
Anyway.
That's fun stuff. I think I see a, what was that, pumpkin pie?
I think it's
Crackers?
pecan.
Leftover Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
No, I think that's just Eden, who likes to eat all day long.
Okay. That's fun.
Yeah.
Fair
whenever
enough.
it is. So shouts. Yeah.
Shout-outs,
Do your shouts there, Turtle.
Shout at the devil.
I got nothing going on.
Wow.
For a change. I got nothing going on. I'm kind of on my own little hiatus from the world. But I am doing another show. So if you want to just log on to drinkstowardsby.com, you can catch me in my drinking exploits.
Great.
Drinking exploits.
Yes.
Who needs that?
Drinking water?
No.
Tea?
We're drinking everything. Cocktails mainly. I do some beer every now and then. But because, like me, I like to drink. I just don't like to drink one thing. Like, I'm one of those guys that I'm always switching it up. And so one of my friends was like, hey, we should have a show where we just talk about cocktails and stuff.
Talk about cocktails?
Yeah.
I love you, man.
I am the only one that limits myself. I usually only have two because I have to run the board and I have to do all the technical stuff. So I'm not trying to get all nice and
Copy that.
Loopy.
Yeah, loopy. So, but they sometimes will do shots and
Right.
explore that avenue.
Sure.
So
I used to do that. Copious amounts.
Did you quit drinking?
I did. About 18 years ago.
Awesome.
You don't want to know me.
You're a friend of Bill's.
Huh?
You're a friend of Bill's.
I am. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I am. 18 years.
That's cool.
Congratulations.
Man.
On
Yeah.
that. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a birthday.
Woohoo. Got that cake.
I did. Yes. And happy birthday to Josh Todd.
Yes.
Very happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
24.
The big 2-4, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
24 years in the club. Years in the car.
That's awesome.
So
That's amazing.
anyway, so you got shouts.
I got shouts.
All right.
I've got some shouts. So here they go. I've got films out. Go to the theater. Go on. What are these things that?
The
what
interweb?
is it? Yeah, no,
Internet?
Netflix and
Hulu
and Amazon. I
Yeah,
believe.
Prime Video. That's my latest favorite.
Really?
Yeah, so they're showing my stuff right now. Some of my classics are out right now too. So I have.
What are some of those?
Oh,
I
well,
don't even know. Why don't you tell me?
No, how about you can go to maxwasaofficial.com.
There you go.
All that
Hey-o,
stuff.
ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding.
or IMDb. Just check out all that stuff. But in out right now is Death House with all the greatest horror icons of all times. I got a little something in that film. Astro is out. The Wendigo, Witch Chronicles, No Strings 2, Playtime in Hell, Smoke-Filled Lungs. There's all sorts of stuff out. And then I'm getting ready to do this amazing film by Carrie Fleming called Dead Slate, where I play Sammy Borden, and lots of hijinks are going to happen.
Will ensue.
That is right.
When does production for that start?
That starts, I believe, at the end of January. So we'll see what happens with that.
In California?
That will not be here. It'll be. I think that we're shooting in Atlanta and Ohio. I think that's the schedule for that one. And I'm writing a film with the great Perry Teo, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to film in Singapore and Malaysia.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'm stoked for that one. Go see my bands. First off, go see live music anywhere you can. Support music. Don't just download it. Don't just listen to it in your car, but go see a show because it's
that's how we get paid.
Yeah, they have families.
That's how we feed our families.
Truly.
I'm the shirt guy. I buy the shirt.
Yeah, do that. Buy the shirt, but buy it at the show.
Yeah, of course.
Please do that. And tip your merch guy because they're working really, really hard
That's
behind
not
that
how
booth.
they make their money.
Yeah, and they, they're not making much. So please take care of
Some
them.
are.
Some are. Some are
making
backhanded.
lots of money. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but some of them aren't.
some of them aren't.
Yeah, so please support them. What else? Who do I have out right now on the road? Ooh, I don't know. I believe Alien Ant Farm is out. Boy Hits Cars in the Studio. Absence Project is out. Brand new record out. Mystery School. They're getting ready to go do some amazing, crazy stuff. Nick Mason is out doing all the things that he does. And, RJ, I can't say he's my favorite artist because I get in trouble for that, but
But you
so
just did?
flippin' talented. This man from Hawaii, blues guitarist, is so talented and up for a Grammy right now. So we are.
When is the Grammys?
It's in January.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're very stoked about that. If you are on the Grammy board, please get those little those little pens out and vote for RJ.
What's his last name?
Canio.
Canio. Okay.
Yeah.
Polynesian.
Yes.
Hawaiian.
He is for sure.
We're cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to vote for him.
Yeah.
Huh?
You got to vote for him.
I'm not really. I'm not on the board, so.
Yet.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever will be.
Well, you should be. I mean,
been
you
snubbed.
were up.
We've been snubbed twice by them, so I don't know.
But you know what? It's just getting the consideration at all is the most.
It's such a high honor.
It is.
Right.
It truly is.
Yeah.
Thank you to our sponsors, to Deadly Grounds, Coffee to Die For, and
Really?
yeah.
I would like to try some Deadly Grounds. I'm a coffee fanatic.
Are you? 'Cause
So Deadly
we are gonna
Grounds.
hook that up for you.
I would love to. Is that like Death Wish, or
It's fantastic.
Is it higher caffeine content?
There's all sorts of different ones that they have, all different flavors. They
Yeah.
grind it fresh and send it to your door.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, guys,
Right? Deadly Grounds.
Deadly Grounds, Stevie D. I'm really curious.
Yep, they might even deliver it in a hearse. It's fantastic.
Thanks.
Nuix and Here Gear Technologies. If you're going to be at the NAMM show, come down, check us out over at Here Gear. I'll be there. Maybe, talking about gear.
What do they do?
All sorts of fantastic little things for the studio and for live production. I'll show you after.
All
Because
right.
I happen to have some on hand.
Sweet.
And yeah, so they have these little awesome little personal mixers.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. You're going to love it.
Cool.
Here Gear Technologies for all of your
Here
recording
Gear?
Here Gear.
Here.
Okay. Technologies.
Yeah.
HEAR here.
Copy.
What else do we got? We got who else are my sponsors?
The
Zemitis Guitars. Thank you, Zemitis Guitars, for all that you do. Still waiting for my new guitar. Hopefully you'll have that delivered at
I'll call them for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I said Nuix. All of the people down there, love them. Ultimate Ear, love you. Mm-hmm. If you need in-ears...
Ultimate Ears.
Ask for
Jeanette.
Yeah.
She will steer you in the right direction. Whatever drivers would be best for you, whatever model, there is one for you out there. If you're a guitar player, bass player, producer, mixer, engineer.
Yes. All of your needs. They got you covered.
All your in-ear needs.
In-ear
Go to ultimateears.com.
Yes.
You should be their voice. You have a great voice for that.
or go to Tour Supply. There's an office right there in the valley.
Yeah.
I need to get mine serviced.
Yeah.
It's been like a few years, and this last tour. Well, if you're listening, the last tour I had some problems that I think they just need to be serviced. Like ears need a tune-up every so often, and your ears change.
They do. Change all the
once
time.
a year or twice a year?
Twice a year.
Oh, once every 2 years. I don't know.
Something.
Yeah.
Like that, but everything changes. You get a cold, your ear changes. So it's that drum.
See, I'm of the philosophy that I just force them back to where they were. You know what I mean? Because, I don't know.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah. I got these new, they're like Bluetooth in-ears. True wireless, and they fit great. I didn't get them free, so I'm not going to tell you their name, but I'll tell you after the cameras are off. But it's great sound quality, and phone calls are spot on. So
can you get a phone call while you're on stage?
No, this isn't for music in-ears. They're just for listening to your MP3s and your illegal downloads.
Got it.
I want to say a huge thank you and I love you so much to Phil Holstis, who is my head of my security. He goes everywhere that I go, and I really appreciate him putting his life out there to protect mine. If you happen to see him standing behind me, shake his hand, say hi. Don't ignore him. He's a wall of a man, and I appreciate him very much. He'll be there at NAMM with me. So for all of my listeners that are going to be there, come by and say hi. Hello. Oh, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Clarice.
I don't know why you say goodbye. I say hello. So from entertheshell.com, I'm Stevie D. I have no shout-outs.
He's got tons of shout-outs. He's
sure
been
he does.
shouting all day.
But thank you again for being our guest. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Shout-out to Enter the Shell. Thank you.
Thank you.
Both of you.
Cool. And I don't know.
I hope you feel better.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know when we're coming back, but we'll be back.
I hope you find your father's house.
I know.
For a guy.
Yeah.
You might be the only. I've never heard of that. But I'm not. No judgment.
Yeah.
It's like a treasure hunt.
For guy.
I'll email you. when I find my dad.
Yeah, hit me up. I'd like to know how this turns out. That's a movie in itself.
Yeah.
Are you my dad?
No, mijo, I'm not.
No, he lives in the valley. I live in Los Angeles. Los Angeles.
Very cool.
Where? I can't tell you.
It's classified.
All right. Sorry.
My life.
Probably not a funny subject.
Right.
It's funny. I'm funny. When we come back next year, probably, unless something happens, we'll do another show.
After NAMM.
Yeah, after NAMM. New shows, new guests, new year. So have a great season. Have a great new year. We will see you next year.